Hi, welcome back to my channel where we go beyond the buzzword, beyond the basics, and beyond the BS to help you really master marketing agility. Now, in the last video, which I will link to so you can go watch it if you missed it, we talked about the need for stable, persistent teams, which sounds all well and good until you are in a department of multiple teams and you don't really feel like switching everybody over to an entirely new team structure simultaneously, which is a very smart thing to be concerned about, so good for you. We don't need to do that. Instead, we need to pilot. We need to test the concept, test how we design teams, test the way we manage work, all in a way that is not catastrophic if we get some things wrong, which we will. It's gonna be okay. So how do we pilot? How do we pick a pilot effectively? That will be our topic for today. Before we dive into the specifics, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button for this channel if you have not already. That will let you know when I produce a new video, which happens every Friday, and will also let me know that the videos I'm producing are helpful. This is, after all, a channel designed to help you become a master of marketing agility. So if they are doing that, very helpful for me to know that. Thank you so, so much. All right, with that said, let's get into pilot design. Now, as we've discussed and will continue to discuss, we pilot teams, not projects. We are not setting up teams around projects, even when we're piloting. This is never okay. We're not gonna do it. Instead, we're gonna find a group of people, a team, that we think could potentially stay together forever. They could be a persistent group even long after the pilot is over. We're gonna bring them together to be 100% dedicated to the Agile pilot. I'm gonna go ahead and say that again. They will be 100% dedicated to the Agile pilot. Everyone freaks out when I say this, so I'll pause for a minute while the heart palpitations subside. This is the only way to make it work, people. I've seen so many teams try to do a part-time pilot. They say, oh, we can't really dedicate people. 100% is a lot. Let's just do like 30%. Go, Andrea, go sit on that Agile team for like 30% of your day. The rest of the time, just do everything the way that you normally would. That feels safe and like it could work. We'll test Agile out that way. Okay, here's what happens. 30% rapidly becomes 0% because all the things I was working on before are still the top priority to someone, and they're still gonna come and demand that I work on them. Something's gonna catch on fire, or a deadline is coming up, and poof, no more time for the Agile pilot, and it looks like it's failed when in fact it never even started. Save yourself some heartache and wait until you can pilot 100% before you even start. Trust me, it's worth it. So how do we do this? How do we even identify what this pilot group might look like? Well, one way that we found that works really well with the teams that we coach is to have marketing leadership get together and look at the upcoming work for like the next 6 months, right? Put it all out. Remember, visibility is key. So we want visibility, put it all out on a board, write it on stickies, whatever you need to do, open the giant spreadsheet where it lives, whatever, we need to see it, right? And then we can start to see if there's a theme emerging, right? If there's a whole bunch of work that has a common thread running through it, that thread could become our meaningful reason to collaborate for the pilot team. So if we can grab those projects and then send them to be worked on by the Agile pilot team, now they can be busy all the time, right? We're not asking them to just sit around and not do anything. We've sent them plenty of work for them to test out the Agile system on, but they're 100% dedicated as a group. right? So this is one way to identify basically their backlog, the pilot team's backlog for the next several months. Even better if you can identify a core KPI that they'll use to evaluate their success. Are you trying to get more marketing qualified leads? Are you looking for more conversion to subscribers? Whatever the metric is, the team needs to know how they're going to be evaluated. And they should measure, the pilot should measure its activities at the process level. So are they going faster, right? Did Agile make them deliver faster, more efficiently, with fewer errors or rounds of reviews? What's their throughput, right? Some of these core Agile metrics. But they should also measure the outcomes. We don't just care that they're doing more. We want them to do better. We should get better marketing outcomes, more MQLs, more conversions, whatever the thing is, the Agile team should do more of those as well. So we need to track it on both of those levels, and then we'll know that we're on the right track and that it's worth doing the hard work of building more persistent Agile teams because they're getting us way better results. So measure the teams, keep them 100% dedicated. You also are going to need to make sure you have a clear team leader. Call it a marketing owner, call it a marketing director, call it a team lead. You've got to have somebody who's responsible for making sure the team is doing the right work at the right time. They're going to prioritize the backlog. They're going to facilitate the Agile meetings. They're going to connect with leadership to report out on how things are going. Best case scenario, they're not also trying to do work with the team. So sometimes this works well if it's like a project manager type role who's not responsible for actually writing copy or designing a page or putting it into the automation system. Somebody who can just focus on the process and helping the team succeed, right? At the same time, you need to make sure that there's air cover for this pilot team, that the leaders are bought in so that when someone from outside marketing, let's say sales perhaps, sales comes and says, hey, Agile pilot, you guys are fast and efficient and good. Do this thing for me right now, huh? Then they need to be able to say no. And they need marketing leadership to say no. They are correct in saying no. Go through the process, respect the process. The team is allowed to push back, right? So we need support outside the team for the pilot to succeed as well. Ideally, we want a pilot to run 3 to 6 months, somewhere in that range. I recommend that you don't give them a hard stop though. Tell them, around 3 months, let's start checking in and seeing how you feel. Are you at a good stopping point so we can pause and inspect the process and see what's going on? But if you say we're stopping on March 15th, no matter what, the team might have really just hit a good stride and started learning things on March 10th, and now you've shut them down, right? So give them a window, let the team be involved in choosing when they want to kind of wind down and report back on the results of the pilot. And they can also create what we call a reference model, right? They can say, this is the tool we used and how we set it up and what worked and what didn't. This is when we had our daily stand-up and it worked well because of this. Don't ever have it at this time because that's when this really loud thing happens next door, or whatever the learnings were from the pilot's time. That can form a reference model so that new Agile teams can spin up even faster and more effectively because they learned from what the pilot did, which after all is the purpose of the pilot in the first place. All right, so no excuses. Pilots come in all shapes and sizes. You can find a way to test into the Agile system that is safe and effective and measurable, all good things. If you need advice, my contact information is with this video. Drop me an email. Happy to give you some input. We also do this at AgileSherpas. If it feels really complex and icky, you can just bring in the professionals and we'll sit down and look at your org chart and talk to your leadership and help navigate this whole situation. Whatever you need, we are here to help master marketing agility. Please subscribe to the channel. I publish every single week. Would love to have you, and let me know what you think of the videos so the next one can be even more helpful for you. Thanks. See you soon.